This video is about the equations of perpendicular lines. Now, if you remember from the last video, that slope-intercept form of a line is y equals mx plus b, where m was the slope and b was the y-intercept. Now, we're going to use that when we're dealing with our perpendicular lines. When our slope is 2. And for our second equation here, the slope is -1/2. So I know they are not parallel because they do not have the same slope. So let's multiply the slopes together. So 2 times -1/2 equals -1. So does that make them perpendicular? So these two are perpendicular. Let's look at our second two. I have 4 and I have -4. I know they are not parallel because they're not exactly the same. But let's see if they're perpendicular. So 4 times -4 is -16. It is not perpendicular because they did not equal -1. Now, let's look at our last example. So 5/3 is our first slope and 3/5 is our second slope. So once again, they are not parallel because they are not the same, but let's see if they are perpendicular. So 5/3 times 3/5 equals +1. But in order to be perpendicular, it needs to equal -1. So these are also not perpendicular. So to recap, in order to be parallel lines, the slopes need to be the same, and the y-intercepts need to be different. In order to be perpendicular lines, they need to be opposite reciprocals. So they will have opposite signs, one positive, one negative, and reciprocals means that they are flipped from each other. So like one is 2/3 and the other is 3/2. And you want to multiply your slopes together to get -1. So when I look at the slopes, they can have the same y-intercepts or they can have different y-intercepts. It doesn't matter. It only matters that the slopes multiply to get -1. And then if neither of those things happen, they are just randomly intersecting lines. If you have any questions, write them down and let me know.